you listen to the whole thing, and the Times says he's authorizing the Russians to hack.
I think that headline is an example of what the new public editor complained about in terms of the liberal bias of the New York Times. There is no way to justify that headline based on what we all just heard with our own eyes and ears. However, the issue of the relationship between Russia, Putin, and Mr. Trump and his organization will not go away. The president has made a very serious implication. I'm going to say implication because he doesn't have evidence. He said he didn't have evidence, but he is now playing into the hands of those who are arguing that not only was this hack Russian, which, by the way, the American intelligence community believes with high confidence, but also that it was done by Putin to sabotage our election.
Exactly. That's okay. Now,
there is no evidence to support that.
Let's roll tape from President Obama where he was talking. Let's hear what Trump had to say about it. Roll that tape.
Today we have a different threat. We have a terror threat, and we have an ISIS threat. And by the way, ISIS isn't even mentioned. It's not even mentioned during the Democratic convention. And everyone's talking about it. The reason they can't mention it is because they grew it. You have to see it. Yeah, it could be Trump. Yeah. So it is so far-fetched. It's so ridiculous. Honestly, I wish I had that power. I'd love to have that power. But Russia has no respect for our country.
That's what he said several times, okay? Yeah. Russia has no respect for our country. Right. That's what he picked up on, Judy.
Now, look, Hillary Clinton was the person who tried to get on a better footing with Putin. If you remember the reset button, we all remember that.
Look,
but it hasn't worked.
I find this just a distraction. All these questions about Russia are taking the Democrats' line that essentially Putin is playing Trump, playing our election. They're distracting from the nature of those disgraceful emails that have surfaced.
Both can be true. The emails have been undercovered. There is no doubt about that. On the first day of the coverage of the leak, by the way, the New York Times barely referred to the substance of those terrible emails. However, Debbie Wasserman Schultz is now gone. I suspect a number of other people in that organization will and should be gone. But the issue of whether or not President Putin is playing our politics will be an outstanding issue until there is more evidence.
The Times will make it so. That's right. The Times will absolutely insist. Are we going to see a thorough investigation, front page, every single email related, the disgraceful calling the guy's an atheist, or the Taco Bell comment about Hispanics? Are we going to see that in the New York Times?
No,
we're going to say, oh, Putin, he's playing the American election.
Well, so is President Obama by suggesting that Putin is actually trying to get Donald Trump elected.
It's a distraction from the disgrace of what the DNC was saying in emails internally.
It's a complete smokescreen.
Where am I going wrong?
You're not, because he said, if this were me, if it were the other way around, I'd be forced to run and hide and drop out of the race. That's the double standard.
That's the double standard, exactly. Right. If the Republicans had put out emails like that and they were revealed,
it is a double standard.
They're gone from public life forever.
Donald Trump can put this issue to rest by releasing his emails, not the tax returns, not the current tax returns. Yes, because it will show whether or not there is Russian money in his organization.
That's a total sidebar.
I think
that's the Democrat line.
Put it to rest. Release your email. Release your tax return.
That's a distraction. Another distraction.
No, it's information Americans need to know about whether or not Donald Trump is an honest and capable businessman.
Okay, we hear you. One and all, thank you very much indeed. It was fascinating, wasn't it? All right.